All right. Good evening, good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you're in. Welcome into Jammin' Sports once again. We now turn our attention to baseball as we continue with our Major League Baseball playoffs. We're still in the Division Series round. It's game number 3 of the American League Division Series between the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Indians. This series is tied at 1 game apiece. Let's get you updated as to what is going on. Here are the brackets. You see them on your screen. Let's start over on the right side. As the LA Dodgers swept the Miami Marlins in the NLDS 3-0, and the Atlanta Braves swept the Pittsburgh Pirates in the other NLDS 3-0. The National League Championship Series will be the Dodgers and the Braves. Over on the left side of the bracket, you can see that the Boston Red Sox swept the Oakland A's 3-0. The Red Sox have advanced to the ALCS, but Minnesota and Cleveland are tied at 1 game apiece in this best of 5, so game 3 here tonight. All right, so let's head out to Minnesota for this one. And it's going to be the first time that we've been able to use the old Metrodome in our sim season playoffs. We're going to use that just to see what it looks like. All right, let's head there now here at Jammin' Sports. And if you're watching on YouTube, please follow, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. There's your lineups for tonight and game 3. Jammin' Sports presents game 3 of the American League Division Series between the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Indians. Live from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, Minneapolis, Minnesota. They have split the first 2 games. Game 3 here tonight. On the mound for the Minnesota Twins here in game number 3 is Mudcat Grant, one of the Negro League players. I like how they're peppered into the rosters. And leading off will be Nat La Jolla for the Indians, the second baseman. Game 3 about ready to get underway, live from the Metrodome. Here's the first pitch, fouled off, and the count goes to 0-1. We're underway here in game 3. The first time we've been able to visit the Metrodome. Next pitch in there for a strike. The pitch to Nat La Jolla is at 0-2. I think that's pronounced LaJoy, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. And now the 0-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. Got the Indians in their Major League uniforms. I know they're called the Guardians now, but I call them the Indians. And now the 1-2 pitch. And that's right to the first baseman, Justin Morneau. One down. There's the starting lineup for Cleveland here today. Next up, the DH, Tris Speaker. The pitch by Grant. In there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Cleveland finished the regular season with the best record, 109 wins. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ripped foul down the first base line. And the count's 0-2 to Speaker. Top of the first, no score. 2 outs, or 1 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out. 2 down for the Indians. And now Manny Ramirez comes up. He's the right fielder today. It's up high. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. Outside, 2-0. 2 outs, bases empty. And the pitch by Grant is ripped into left field. That's going to drop all the way to the wall for a base hit. Extra bases for Ramirez, as he'll get a 2-out stand-up double.
Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 25, Jim Thome.
And now Jim Thome up for the Indians, the first baseman. Just outside, the count goes to 1-0. So the Indians have a runner on second base, Ramirez, with 2 outs here in the top of the first. And now the pitch by Grant. In there for a strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on second base. Grant, the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Top of the first, no score. 2-1 pitch. Ripped foul down the line, base hit. Ramirez coming around. He's coming home. And the Indians are going to take a 1-0 lead on an RBI single by Jim Thome.
Batting fifth, the catcher, number 15.
And the Indians take a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. Ripped right down the third base line, past the third baseman, Gary Gaetti, out into left field. And now Sandy Alomar comes up next, the catcher for the Indians. The pitch, in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Alomar back in the batter's box with an 0-1 count. Pitch by Grant. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-2. Indians have scored 1 here in the top of the first. And now the pitch. Just outside. Count goes to 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch by Grant. Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first base. Grant, the 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count to Sandy Alomar. All this happening with 2 outs. And now the pitch by Grant. Popped it up. Out to center field. Torrey Hunter comes in and makes the play for the 3rd out. But Jim Thome, an RBI single, drives in a run. And at the end of a half inning, The Indians lead the Twins 1-0 here in ALDS Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the first inning. CC Sabathia on the mound for Cleveland. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. This is Game 3. The winner of this series will take on the Boston Red Sox in the American League Championship Series. The National League is set. It's the Braves and the Dodgers. Rod Carew will lead things off, the second baseman for Minnesota. In the pitch by Sabathia.
Inside,
Ball one, just outside, or inside, excuse me. The count goes to 1-0. And now the pitch by Sabathia. Inside again, count goes to 2-0. Cleveland scored a run in the top of the first. And now the 2-0 pitch. On the inside corner, strike one. Count goes to 2-1 to Carew. And now the 2-1 pitch. Ripped foul down the third base line. They'll even the count at 2-2 to Rod Carew. Carew back in the batter's box. 2-2 pitch. Just outside, full count. And now 3-2 pitch. Up high, ball four. A leadoff walk for the Twins here in the bottom of the first as Rod Carew is on. Next up, Kirby Puckett. He's the designated hitter here today. The pitch right down the pike, strike one. Count goes to 0-1. We took these all-star rosters and we simulated a 162-game season. And then we're doing the playoffs 1 game at a time. We did it all in franchise. Up high, count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, runner on first. That's Rod Carew at first base. And now the 1-1 pitch. Foul down the first base line, out of play. And the count goes to 1-2. We like using the old-time stadiums when we can. That's why we're using the old Metrodome. And now the 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. I just got a copy of the show 24 yesterday. We'll use that for the next sim season. We'll finish up here with this one. Here's the 2-2. Big swing and a miss. And Puckett goes down swinging for out number 1.
Batting third, the third baseman, number 38.
And Sabathia mows him down. Next up, Gary Gaetti. He's the left fielder. They throw to first. And Crew's back in time. I stand corrected. Gary Gaetti is the third baseman for Minnesota. And now the pitch by Sabathia. In there for a strike, 0-1. Misty has told me that we have some thunderstorms coming through the area outside. Here in the Nashville area. Here's the 0-1. Big swing and a miss. Count 0-2 to Gaetti. And now the 0-2 pitch. Inside. Count goes to 1-2. We're in the bottom of the first. Cleveland up 1-0 here in Game 3. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. They throw to first. And Carew is back in time. Count at 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Sabathia a bit inconsistent here in the bottom of the first inning. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Rung him up. 2 down for the Twins here in the bottom of the first inning.
The left fielder, Josh Jones.
As Gay, and it goes down on strikes. Next up, Jock Jones. He's the left fielder for the Twins. Pitch by Sabathia, up high. Count goes to 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Rod Carew at first base for the Twins. Pitch by Sabathia.
That's in.
Inside, count goes to 2-0. They throw to first. Carew gets back in time. Count remains at 2-0. Here's the pitch. Ripped foul down the first baseline. A nice souvenir for somebody. Count goes to 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Carew at first base. Pitch by Sabathia. Up high, 3-1. And now the 3-1 pitch to Jock Jones. Swung, and the count is now full at 3-2. Sabathia trying to get out of the inning without giving up a run. Rod Carew still sitting at first base. And now the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball down the first base line, foul. Count remains full at 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out. At the end of 1 complete, the Indians lead the Twins by a score of 1-0 here in Game 3 of the American League Division Series at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the second inning. Larry Doby will lead things off for the Indians. He's the center fielder. Mudcant Grant still on the mound for the Twins. Indians up 1-0. Down low, count goes to 1-0. We got a lot of great players on these rosters. Up high and outside, 2-0 to Doby. Top of the second inning, nobody out, nobody on. Doby at the plate, the count's 2-0. Here's the pitch. Down low, 3-0. And now the 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 3-1. Three-one pitch by Grant. Popped up out of play. Count goes full to Doby at 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. Doby hits one high in the air out to center field. Torrey Hunter goes back, and that's out of here. That's a home run. A solo shot by Larry Doby off the big garbage bag in right field. And the Indians take a 2-0 lead here in Game 3. The leadoff solo shot by Doby here in the top of the second. Let's watch this one again. They didn't call it the Homer Dome for nothing. A lot of home runs were hit here. Off the bleacher seats. And now Willie Mays Hayes, one of 2 players on this roster from the movie, in there for a strike. Rick Vaughn is the other one, the relief pitcher. Willie Mays Hayes, he's the shortstop. Counts 0-1 as he fouls it off. 0-1 pitch. Ripped for a base hit into left field, and Hayes is aboard. Still nobody out for the Twins, or the Indians, excuse me, here in the top of the second inning. So Hayes is aboard with nobody out. And coming up is Al Rosen. He's the third baseman for the Indians. Nobody out. Hayes at first base. He rips one down the line. Is it fair? Yes. Into the corner. Hayes has got great speed. He's coming around. They're sending him home. And he scores. And Rosen ends up with a double and an RBI. And the Indians take a 3-0 lead here in the top of the second. Watch this seeing eye double right here. Wow. The umpire called it fair. Let's watch it again. Oh, that was just fair. Good call by the umpire. And now still nobody out for the Indians here in the top of the second. Rooting for Cleveland. Happy Father's Day. Right, Gauchos? High in the air. Out to right. And that one's gone. Didn't even get a chance to say his name. Grady Sizemore, the left fielder, hits one out of here. And the Indians exploding here in the top of the second. And that's a 2-run shot, as Rosen was at second base. And now it's a 4-0. Actually, it should be a 5-0. But I think I had it right the first time. No, I had it right. 5-0 lead for the Indians. And now LaJoie comes up in there for a strike. Nap LaJoie, the second baseman. Still nobody out for the Indians here in the top of the second. Series is tied at 1 game apiece. Pitch in there for a strike. Counts 0-2. Gauchos, you'll be happy to know that your Dodgers are in the National League Championship Series against the Braves. Here's the 0-2.
Nope. Ball one.
Down low, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. To LaJoie.
Ball, that's
Up
a
high,
ball.
2-2. Nap LaJoie, he's an older player from like the 1920s, I think, somewhere in there. Mudcat Grant is from the Negro Leagues. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ripped it and struck him out as he goes down swinging. Finally, the Twins recorded out here in the top of the second. And now Tris Speaker will come up next. He's the DH for Cleveland today. The pitch by Grant, up high, 1-0. Indians up 5-0 here in the top of the second inning. And yes, I still call them the Indians. Big swing and a miss. That's going to even the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. 5-0 Cleveland. In there for a strike, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Indians with 4 runs this inning so far. 1-2 pitch is in the dirt. That'll even the count at 2-2. Davis in the house. Good to see you, Davis. 2-2 pitch. Rug him up. Struck him out. 2 down. Davis likes the baseball. And now Manny Ramirez will come up. The right fielder. Here's the pitch. Down low. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Foul that one off. Count evens up at 1-1. Game 3 of the American League Division Series. Indians lead at 5-0. Here's the 1-1. Ramirez down the line. It's knocked down by the first baseman. Did they get him out? Yes. Justin Morneau knocks it down and tosses it to the pitcher covering the bag, Mudcat Grant, for the out. But the Indians score 4. They lead at 5-0 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the second inning. The Rush Show. I'm taking Twins for a comeback. Welcome in to Jammin' Sports, The Rush Show. Welcome in. Byron Buxton comes up to lead things off. He's the catcher for the Twins today here in Game 3. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Cleveland up 5-0. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Buxton. Easy for me to say. And now the 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch by Sabathia. Down low, 2-2. Good to see LaRoche in the house. 2-2 pitch. Up high, 3-2. Well, he's a catcher in this game. That's what they got him listed as. 3-2 pitch. To the first baseman, Tobe, to Sabathia, covering the bag for the out.
Batting six, the right fielder, Tony Oliva.
One down for the Twins here in the bottom of the second. And now Tony Oliva up next. He's the right fielder. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. One pitch by Sabathia, swung on for strike 2. He plays center field. They have him listed as the catcher in the lineup here today. Maybe they're short on players. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball at the middle. Shortstop can't get to it. Base hit for Oliva. It'll be a 1-out single for Tony Oliva. He gets aboard. They're in the clubhouse before the game. All right, we need a catcher. Who knows how to play catcher? And Buxton raised his hand. I'll do it. Carlos Carrera up next, the shortstop. They throw to first. Oliva back in time. Cleveland up 5-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. And now the pitch by Sabathia.
That's the ball.
Down low, 1-0.
Count 1-0.
Twins got in as a wild card. They defeated the Angels in the wild card round. They swept them 2-0. And they're tied at 1 apiece in this series. The 1-0 pitch.
Ball, that's low.
Down low, 2-0. Cleveland finished with the best regular season record. 109 wins. They had a first round bye. And now the 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Count goes to 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
The other 3 division series were all sweeps. The Red Sox over the A's, the Dodgers over the Marlins, the Braves over the Pirates. 2-1.
2-2 count.
And it's a strike. Count goes to 2-2 to Correa. The Red Sox await the winner of this series. It's a best of 5.
No, he's safe.
The division series is a best of 5. Two to Correa. Here's the pitch.
Full count.
Up high and outside. Full count to Carlos Correa. Been a couple of weeks since I did a baseball game. Last one I did was on the radio. 3-2.
Ball 4.
Outside, ball 4. Correa is on board. And with 1 out, the Twins now have runners at first and second. As the Twins are trying to mount a comeback. Justin Morneau, he's the first baseman. Here's the pitch. Ripped foul. Count goes to 0-1. At the old Metrodome. Yeah, the Cleveland Indians got 4 runs in the top of the second inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fouled it off. Counts at 0-2 to Justin Morneau. And now the 0-2 pitch.
Ball.
Just inside. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at first and second for the Twins. Down 5-0. The pitch by Sabathia. Fouls off. Count remains at 1-2. Something the show really does well. It really looks like a TV broadcast. They do that really, really well. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. The Metrodome, Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's torn down now, but it's available as an old-timer stadium. And now the 2-2 pitch. And that hit him. Bases loaded for the Twins. And Joe Mauer comes up. He's actually the catcher. Buxton must be the DH today. No, Puckett's the DH. I'm trying to figure out where Buxton is playing. If Mauer's in the game, he's the catcher. The Twins have me confused with their lineup. Bases loaded, 1 out. Yeah, he was a great player. It's a base hit over the third baseman. 1 run will score at least. They get, the runners, Morneau is safe at second. Everybody's safe. And the Twins get on the board. And that's an error on the left fielder, Gary Sizemore. And the Twins are on the board. Cleveland up 5-1. And now Rod Carew comes up. The second baseman. 1 out, bases loaded. And now the Twins are in rally mode. In their first strike, 0-1. Game 3 of the ALDS. It was the throwing error. I mean, I think they called it right. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Foul down the line. Not a lot of foul territory here at the Metrodome. The count's at 0-2. Yeah, you don't see that error very often, but I think that was the right call. 0-2 pitch. In their first strike. Struck him out for out number 2. Yeah, it would have been a force. Pulled him off the bag. Kirby Puckett. He's the DH. Trying to figure out what Buxton is playing. I'm looking at the lineup. In their first strike, count goes to 0-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Let's see if Puckett can hit a homer here. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Quickly 0-2 to Puckett. Jimmy Jam with the Evil Dead and my cast of characters. Good crowd here on this Sunday. I appreciate it on this Father's Day. 0-2 pitch. Did he go around? Yes, he did. And that'll end the inning. However, the Twins do score a run at the end of 2 complete. Cleveland's up 5-1 here in Game 3 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the third. Jim Tomei will lead things off for Cleveland. He's the first baseman. Mudcat Grant on the mound. Davis is a character. When there's a big crowd, it's hard to call everybody out. But I appreciate everyone being here. Here's the 0-1 pitch by Tomei. It gets popped up in the air, out to left field. Jacques Jones gets under it. We're out number 1. So Tomei flies out to left. 1 down for Cleveland here in the top of the third inning. Sandy Alomar, the catcher, comes up. 1 down, bases empty. Mudcat Grant.
Yep, that ball went out.
Just outside, 1-0. I'm hoping for the show 24 that I have rosters like this I can use again. We'll start using 24 when I finish up this one. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. They'll even the count at 1-1. The HHH Metrodome. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss.
2 strikes.
No, the Jets beat the Bills. Barely. Ground ball. Third base. Gaetti throws to first for the out. 2 down for Cleveland here in the top of the third. Yeah, the Jets held on to beat the Bills. That game was yesterday. Go check it out, Davis. And the Jets have a 1-game lead on the Patriots. Larry Doby comes up next. He's a Hall of Famer. In there for a strike. The Indians center fielder. Well, you're talking about Pittsburgh back in Week 10. That's old news. The Jets won yesterday. Next pitch in there for a strike. The count to Doby's 0-2. Lead the Pats by a game. The Pats are on their bye week. Here's the 0-2. Struck him out. That'll end the inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Cleveland. As we go to the bottom of the third, Indians lead at 5-1 here in Game 3 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports. Gary Gaetti will lead things off for Minnesota, the third baseman, here in the bottom of the third. You saw the Jets lose the other day to Pittsburgh, but they started Week 11 yesterday, and they beat the Bills 28-23. They held on to beat the Bills. Counts 1-0 to Gaetti. And now the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Pay attention. 2-0 pitch. Ripped foul down the third base line. And the count's at 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Gaetti. Popped up. Out to right. Ramirez goes back. And makes the play for out number 1. 1 down for the Twins here in the bottom of the third inning. Jacques Jones will come up, the left fielder, to face CC Sabathia. 1 out, bases empty. Pops that one up to center field. Doby comes running in and makes the play for out number 2. Quickly 2 down for the Twins here in the bottom of the third. And now Byron Buxton, still trying to figure out where he's playing in the field. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. Going through the lineup here. And it's 1-1. You know what? I think he's taken the place of Hayes, the shortstop. Evil Dead said he was the shortstop. And Hayes, I think, got injured. Yeah, Hayes got injured. And the count's at 1-2 to Buxton. He's replacing Hayes at short. I've noticed Hayes hasn't been in the lineup after that first time up. And he fouls out. The count goes to 1-2. He must be playing short. Somehow I had him as catcher. I'm trying to figure out why. And now the 1-2 pitch. Pops that one up. Ramirez comes running in and he can't get to it. Doby backs him up. And he's safe. Buxton is safe at short. All right, when the Twins are in the field, we're going to try to figure out where he is. Because Puckett's the DH. I know that. That got by Ramirez. And that'll be a 2-out double for Buxton. And now Tony Oliva comes up, the right fielder. 2 outs, runner on second. And that's foul down the first base line. Yeah, I know. That's Misty yawning in the background. That was not an air horn in the crowd. That was Misty. Here's the 0-1. He went around. Counts 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. Well, it's 5:57, so. Almost 6 o'clock Central Time. That's right. Yeah, she hasn't had her popsicle yet. Here's the 1-2. Popped up down the third base line, out of play. Count remains at 1-2 to Tony Oliva. 2 outs, runner on second base. That's Buxton. And now the 1-2 pitch. He went around, and that will end the third inning. Cleveland up 5-1 here in Game 3 of the American League Division Series here at Javits Sports. Go to the top of the fourth. No, Willie Mays Hayes, he's back in the game. Okay, we will. Let's pause it. How do you pause this thing? We'll pause it right after this pitch. In there for a strike. All right, let's see. How do you check the lineup? Batting order. All right, here we go. Buxton is playing center field. All right. That'll work. How do I resume? There we go. That mystery is solved. Counts 0-1 to Hayes. In there for a strike, 0-2. Because that was really bothering me. So Buxton is playing center field. Let me update my lineup card. Ground ball to second base. Willie Mays Hayes is out. Making the play is Rod Carew. Yeah, he's in his correct position. All right. I'm updating my lineup card here in front of me. Al Rosen up next. The third baseman. And it's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Yeah, Willie Mays Hayes. The Twins, the Indians on this roster, they have 2 of the players. Willie Mays Hayes and Rick Vaughn is on this roster. The 1-1 pitch. Ball 2 counts 2-1 to Rosen. A nice homage to the Major League movie. It's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. 2-1 pitch. He went around. That'll even the count at 2-2. We have not seen him in this series yet, no. And now the 2-2. Outside, 3-2. Of course, Willie Mays Hayes, played by Wesley Snipes, and Rick Vaughn, played by Charlie Sheen. Foul ball down the line, counts at 3-2 to Al Rosen. That's in my top 5 baseball movies, Major League. High in the air, out to center field. Buxton goes back and makes the catch. Now that we figured out where Buxton's playing. 2 down for Cleveland here in the top of the fourth. Grady Sizemore comes up. He's the left fielder. Misty's getting up. Fouls it off. What's my favorite baseball movie of all time? Man, there's just so many good ones. I like Field of Dreams. I like The Natural. Fouls that one off. I like Major League. For the Love of the Game is a good one too. Counts at 0-2. Here's the pitch.
Ball 1.
Counts at 1-2. 8-man out is a good one. If I had to pick one, probably Field of Dreams. 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2. But Major League is a close second. I really love Major League. The first one, all the sequels were crap. Here's the 2-2. Fouls it off. Yeah, the slugger's wife. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Sizemore with 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch. Inside, full count, 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, it's a walk. Another one.
Now batting.
Another one I had left off the list. A League of Their Own is actually a very good. I know it's softball, but still, it's a very good baseball movie. I always get this guy's last name wrong. Nap Lahoye
Safe, he's good.
will come up. The second baseman for the Indians. 2 outs, runner on first base. Cleveland up 5-1. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 0-1. That's right. League of Their Own is baseball, isn't it? It's been a while since I've seen that movie. That's right. You're right. You're right, Evil Dead. My bad. I always equate women with softball, but you're right. It was a baseball movie. Counts 0-2 to La Jolla. 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Oh, yeah. She's an awesome actress. Counts at 0-2 with 2 outs. The pitch. Inside. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first base. Cleveland up 5-1 here at the top of the 4th. 1-2 pitch. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. Jones will throw it in. Nap LaJoy, thank you. I keep messing up his name.
Number 22.
Nap LaJoy, thank you. Evil Dead, my director of information and pronunciation. Tris Speaker, he's a Hall of Famer. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Speaker is an old-time player. He's the DH today for Cleveland. So Cleveland with runners at first and second. 2 outs. The count's 0-1. Speaker hits it high in the air. Jock Jones will make the play in left field for the final out. At the end of 3.5, Cleveland still wins or leads it by a score of 5-1. American League Division Series Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We're live from the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, which doesn't exist anymore. Live from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Game 3 of the ALDS. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and Carlos Correa will lead things off for Minnesota, down 5-1. Sabathia is still on the mound. The first pitch is in there for a strike. The only division series still going. The other 3 were all sweeps. 0-1 pitch. Out into right field. Ramirez makes the play. As Manny runs it down.
The first baseman.
1 down for Minnesota. Justin Morneau will come up next, the first baseman. Yeah, Tris Speaker, awesome player. Back in the day when baseball was baseball. Inside, 1-0. I would have loved to have seen those players play back in the day. The 1-0 pitch to Morneau. Big swing and a miss. Counts at 1-1 to Speaker. Or Morneau, excuse me. And now the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. The Metrodome was just an odd baseball stadium. It really was. And now the 2-1. Popped up in the air. Ramirez comes over in right and makes the play for out number 2. 2 down for the Twins here at the bottom of the 4th.
The batter. The catcher.
Catcher Joe Mauer comes up. I'll tell you right after this pitch. In their first strike. Nothing against the Negro Leagues, but they never played against each other. I don't like it. I think it should be set to itself because it was its own identity. It was its own thing. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Inside, count goes to 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's like saying the NFL should incorporate all the CFL records. It doesn't make sense. Foul ball, and it's caught by the third baseman, Al Rosen. And that'll end the inning. Cleveland up 5-1 here at Jammin' Sports. Or it's like saying we should take, like you said, you know, all the Japanese league records and put it in there. That makes no sense. Manny Ramirez leads things off in their first strike. It has nothing to do with race. In their first strike. Counts 0-2. And I'll make an even better argument. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Down low. Struck him out. The throw down to first, make it official. Now, when the NFL had the merger, they made the AFL records count. I didn't like that idea either, because the AFL was by itself. It was its own league. Now, if they had played each other, if it was all one league, then yes. In their first strike, 0-1. But when the AFL merged with the NFL, they brought in all the AFL records and made them count. I didn't like that either. Down the line. Now, to your point, Evil Dead, as the count goes to 0-2 to Jim Tomei. Tomei, the first baseman. Here's the pitch, 0-2. Hit up in the air, high in the air. First baseman Morneau gets under it for out number 2. 2 down for Cleveland with nobody on here in the 5th inning. To your point, the idea was somebody had this weird social justice idea. You have to bring the Negro League records into Major League Baseball. In their first strike, count goes to 0-1. But you take out the race element, and it's a silly idea. It was a separate league. Here's the 0-1 pitch. In their first strike, 0-2. Pitch to Sandy Alomar, the catcher. The count's at 1-2. 2 outs, bases empty. 1-2 pitch.
Nope, that's a ball.
The count's 2-2. No, it doesn't make me racist to disagree. You're trying to shoehorn the records in to make a racist comment, if you think about it. Here's the 2-2. Up high, counts at 3-2. And that's Ginger back there giving me an amen. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. You know, let the records stay with the league that no longer exists. I don't think it needs to be incorporated in. There's no reason to. Here's the 3-2. Struck him out. And that'll end the inning. At the end of 4.5, Cleveland leads Minnesota here in Game 3 by a score of 5-1 here at Jammin' Sports. Rod Carew leads things off for the Twins here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cleveland up 5-1. Yeah, I mean, where does it stop? Down low, 1-0. We should let all the AAA and AA and single A records count too. Why not? Where does it end? A bunt attempt. They'll even the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Swung for strike 2. Count goes to 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside, 2-2. Look, the woke crowd destroys everything they touch. That's all I'm going to say. High up in the air, Ramirez out in right field makes the play for out number 1.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Kirby.
1 out, bases empty, and Kirby Puckett, the DH, comes up next. CC Sabathia on the mound. Here's the pitch. High in the air, out to center field. Larry Doby comes in, And he can't make the play. Ramirez backs him up. And that's going to be a one-out double for Kirby Puckett. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point, Evil Dead. It makes no sense. It's loud back here. What you're saying is somebody who never played in the major leagues, we're now going to count their records. That's what it amounts to. Gary Gaetti up next.
1-0.
The third baseman. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. Runner on first base for the Twins. They trail 5-1. CC Sabathia on the mound. Here's the 1-0 pitch. High in the air, Ramirez out in right field makes the play for out number 2. They keep the runner at second.
The left fielder, number 23.
2 down. Now for Minnesota, and Jacques Jones, the left fielder, will come up. And the pitch by Sabathia. In there for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-2 to Jacques Jones. 2 outs, runner at second base for the Twins here in the bottom of the fifth, trailing 5-1. 0-2 pitch. Fouled it off. And the count remains at 0-2 to Jacques Jones. That's Ginger, my dachshund, in the background, making herself known. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Struck him out at the end of 5 complete. The Indians lead the Twins 5-1 here in the ALDS Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. Pablo Lopez comes in for the Twins, taking over for Mudcat Grant. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Larry Doby will lead things off for Cleveland, the center fielder. The pitch by Lopez, up high, 1-0. Moran and Duran warming up in the bullpen. Pablo Lopez. Be nice, Evil Dead. The 1-0 pitch, down low, 2-0.
2 balls, no strikes.
Larry Doby, he was a great player for the Indians back in the day. 2-0 pitch. He went around. Count goes to 2-1. If I'm not mistaken, Evil Dead, wasn't Doby the first African American in the American League after Robinson, if I'm not mistaken? Ground ball to third base. Gaetti throws to first for the out.
Now batting. The
1 down
Willie.
for the Twins here in the top of the 6th. Willie Mays Hayes, the shortstop from Major League. And it's in there for a strike. Did I ever tell Evil Dead about the kid that came in the chat the other day? Yes, I did. He wanted to act like he was from the hood. He was dropping N-bombs everywhere. That's going to be a base hit to center field for Willie Mays Hayes.
Now batting. Third baseman.
Buxton throws it in. It's a base hit for Hayes. And now Cleveland with a runner on first with 1 out. The other one. Up high, Al Rosen at the plate for the Indians, the third baseman. Yes, I thought so. I thought he was the second one, yes. He was a great player. My goodness. Larry Doby, just a great player. They pitch out. They don't take the bait. The count goes to 2-0. Clutch, who is the other one you're talking about? Oh, the one that asked me why I was still playing 19. I get that a lot. 2-0 pitch. in there for a strike. Yeah, Dobie was outstanding. Here's the 2-1. Swung on. That'll even the count at 2-2 to Al Rosen. Just because something is older doesn't mean it's worse. High in the air, out to left field. Jacques Jones, it drops for a base hit. Coming home. Nope, going to third. They don't come home. Willie Mays Hayes makes it to third base. Base hit for Rosen. And now Cleveland has runners at first and third with one out. Back in the second inning. This is what happened. Whack. As Sizemore hit one a ton. And now Grady Sizemore comes up again, the left fielder for the Indians. One out, runners on the corners. Here's the pitch.
Nope.
Up high, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, one out. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Yeah, his career was definitely derailed by that. The 2-0 pitch to Sizemore with one out, runners on the corners. Down low, 3-0. A walk below the bases.
No strike.
And the 3-0 pitch popped up, out of play. Count goes to 3-1. Earlier here this afternoon, Houston beat Jacksonville 13-10. That's in the video section and on YouTube if you want to check it out. 3-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Got a full count at 3-2.
Full count.
Yeah, he was just cursed that way. They throw to first.
No, he's safe.
Rosen back in time. Count remains at 3-2 to Sizemore. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off down the third base line. Count remains full at 3-2 with one out.
That's ball four.
Ball four, bases loaded for Cleveland. They're already up 5-1. They have a chance to break this game wide open here in the top of the sixth inning here in Game 3. Nap LaJoie will come up next. I finally got his name right. The second baseman. When did he play, Evil Dead? I know it was back in the early part of the 20th century. Get a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Pablo Lopez on the mound for Minnesota. Bases loaded, one out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. They're going to turn two. They get one and safe at first. They get the lead runner, and a run will score as Willie Mays Hayes scores from third base. And Cleveland goes up 6-1. Fielded by Rod Carew. He throws to the shortstop, Carrera. Get the lead runner. But Willie Mays Hayes will score from third base, and Cleveland leads it 1-0.
He's good.
So LaJoie will get an RBI off that one. Tris Speaker will come to the plate. The DH fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. So now Cleveland's up 6-1 here on the top of the sixth here in Game 3. Game 4 will also be here in Minnesota. Oh, 0-1 pitch.
Nope. Outside.
Outside, 1-1. And it's in there for a strike. 1-2 to Tris Speaker. Always want to call him Chris. It's Tris Speaker. A 1-2 pitch.
That's ball two.
Down low, 2-2. A walk below the bases again. Two outs, runners at first and third. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. Yeah, that's true. Good point. 2-2 pitch. Rips it out to right. Going back and making the play is Oliva. Tony Oliva out there in right field. That'll end the inning. However, Cleveland gets a run, and they take a 6-1 lead here in Game 3 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Brian Buxton, who we now know as the center fielder, will lead things off for the Twins. CC Sabathia is still on the mound for Cleveland. He's gone the distance so far. Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. This series is tied at 1 game apiece. Yep, they're tied 1-1. This is Game 3. The only division series that wasn't a sweep. At the strike, count goes to 1-1 to Buxton. And now the 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2. I can't remember. I might have. 1-2 pitch. Fouled it off. Count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch in the dirt.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Evens the count at 2-2 to Brian Buxton. And now the 2-2. He went around, struck him out for out number 1. One down for the Twins here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Now batting, the right fielder,
Tony Oliva comes up next, the right fielder.
Oliva.
One out for the Twins here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Nobody on base. In their first strike, 0-1. That's right, Evil Dead and I are both Scorpios. 0-1 pitch. In their first strike, 0-2.
No balls, 2 strikes.
And now the 0-2 pitch. Ripped foul. Count remains at 0-2. The right fielder for the Twins, Tony Oliva. He was a good player back in the day. Here's the 0-2 pitch.
1 ball.
Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. 1-2 pitch.
That's a
Down
ball.
low, 2-2. Got Cleveland in those major league uniforms from the movie. And now the 2-2 pitch. High in the air. Out to left. This one's got a chance. And they say it's off the wall. And that's going to be a double for Oliva. I think it was off the glove of the left fielder, Sizemore. He kept it from going out. He didn't catch it, though. Let's watch this again. You don't see that very often, but that's a legal play, and he holds him to a double. That would have been out of there. Carlos Carrera up next. He's the shortstop. In there for a strike, 0-1. Cleveland up 6-1. The Twins trying to come back. A runner on second base with 1 out. And now the 0-1 pitch by Sabathia.
Ball 1.
Down low, 1-1.
Ball 1 strike.
Correa. I've been saying Korea, haven't I? Like he's Korean. Correa. Baseball names can be weird sometimes. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. I'm not even going to try that one. De Los Santos and Hinches warming up with the bullpen. Counts 2-1 to Correa. Yeah, they are in general. 2-1 pitch. Popped it up. First baseman Tomei goes over and a foul ground and makes the play for out number 2. Correa flies out to first. Pops out to first, actually. And now Justin Morneau, the first baseman for the Twins, comes up next. 2 outs, runner on second base. Cleveland up 6-1 here in Game 3. Morneau, the pitch. Or not Morneau, Sabathia. Out to Ramirez in right. And Ramirez makes the play for the final out. At the end of 6 complete, Cleveland leads it 6-1 over Minnesota here in Game 3 of the American League Division Series at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 7th. Manny Ramirez, the right fielder, will lead things off for Cleveland. Cleveland leads it by a score of 6-1. Pablo Lopez on the mound. The count is 1-0. The first pitch outside. They have Ramirez batting left. Wanted to point that out before Evil Dead did. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ramirez, big swing and miss. Counts at 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Yeah. They have him in the opposite field, and he's hitting the opposite way. Here's the 2-2. Big swing and a miss. He struck him out. One down for Cleveland here in the top of the 7th. First baseman Jim Tomei comes up. One out. Bases empty here in the top of the 7th. The pitch by Lopez. Rips it foul down the line. We'll play Game 4 of this tomorrow after football. We'll have football at 8 Eastern, and then we'll have Game 4 of this. Popped up into the air, out to right field. Tony Oliva will make the play for the Twins. 2 down.
The bat, number 15.
I liked him too. He's a good player. I liked Alomar too. Sandy Alomar, the catcher, will come up next. Facing Pablo Lopez. 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch in there for a strike. About shoulder high. Count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count quickly 0-2 to Alomar. And now the 0-2 pitch. Popped up. Gaetti runs in from third and makes the play for the final out. At the end of 6.5, Cleveland leads it 6-1 here in Game 3 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports. The old 7th inning stretch. Joe Mauer will lead things off, the catcher for the Twins, here in the bottom of the 7th. Minnesota running out of outs. They need to rally here. Sabathia is still on the mound. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Sabathia has gone the distance so far. 0-1 pitch to Mauer. And that's ripped right to the short. Willie Mays Hayes runs it down for the Indians.
The second baseman.
As Mauer lines out to short, 1 down. Rod Carew, the second baseman, up next. 1 out, bases empty. Carew was such a great hitter back in the 70s and early 80s. In their first strike, 0-1.
0-1.
Bring in Wild Thing. They might. Here's the 0-1. In their first strike, 0-2. He was just a great player overall, Carew. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. I got to see him play live a couple of times. When I lived in Seattle back in the day, I was a teen when the Mariners first got their team. And it's outside, 2-2. Got to see a couple of Twins games when they came and Carew played. I liked him then. 2-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out. 2 down for the Twins. Here in the bottom of the 7th, the DH. Kirby Puckett comes up. Yeah, he didn't like it. I remember hearing stories about that. So 2 outs, bases empty. Outside, count goes to 1-0 to Kirby Puckett. If you're the batter, you can stand in there any way you want as long as you're in the batter's box. Here's the 1-0. Inside, 2-0.
Ball two.
It's like whatever floats your boat. 2 balls and no strikes to Kirby Puckett with 2 outs, bases empty. 2-0 pitch.
Ball three.
Ball 3 inside. Puckett trying to draw a 2-out walk. 3-0 pitch. Fouls it off down the first base line. Count goes to 3-1. Swinging on a 3-0 pitch. Not supposed to do that. And now the 3-1.
Hey.
In their first strike. It's full now, 3-2.
Full.
3-2 pitch.
No. Ball four.
All 4. Well, it worked out. He draws the walk. Yeah, Kirby knows better.
Number 38.
But he draws the walk. It's a 2-out walk. Oh, can we see Wild Thing? Here comes the Cleveland manager. Sabathia is done for the day. I can just see that manager from Major League. He goes, give me Vaughn.
Gentlemen,
No,
your
it's not
attention,
Vaughn.
please.
It's De Los
Now
Santos.
pitching for Cleveland.
Vaughn wasn't warming up in the
Number
bullpen.
62, Aniel De Los Santos.
Aniel De Los Santos comes in for the Indians. Gary Gaetti, the third baseman, will come up. Inherits a 2-out runner on first base situation. I think he's a reliever.
Yeah.
In their first strike, 0-1.
0-1's the count.
Maybe we'll see him in game 4. 0-1 pitch.
Ball one.
Inside. Count goes to 1-1. Gaetti really sold that. It really wasn't that inside, but he backed up. Counts up 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Runner on first base. 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3-1. Twins trying to rally. They're down by 5 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Three-one pitch. Ground ball to first. Tobey will take it for the easy out. At the end of 7 complete, Cleveland leads it 6-1 here in Game 3 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 8th. Larry Doby, the center fielder, will come up next.
Larry.
One of my all-time favorite players, Larry Doby. Facing Pablo Lopez. Here's the pitch. In their first strike, 0-1. Yeah, you're right, Evil Dead. They were just terrible movies. Fouled it off. Counts 0-2. When you have a first movie that's so good, you know, that's the bar you set. You're never going to exceed it.
Ball.
Inside, count goes to 1-2 to Larry Doby. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Cleveland up 6-1 here on the top of the 8th. 1-2 pitch. Well, he swung early and struck out. 1 down for Cleveland here on the top of the 8th. The only one I could think of offhand is The Empire Strikes Back with Star Wars. That second movie was outstanding. Willie Mays Hayes, the shortstop, in their first strike. Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark. All those movies were good. I even liked the 4th and 5th one. Strike 2.
0-2 is the count.
Back to the Future. Yeah, they were good. That third one was really good. 0-2 pitch.
Ball one.
Outside. Count goes to 1-2 to Willie Mays Hayes. 1-2 pitch. Oh, that hit him.
That ball hit him.
And Mr. Major League will go to first base. Al Rosen comes up next for Cleveland, the third baseman. 1 out, runner on first. 2 was kind of a setup for 3.
Ball,
Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0 to Rosen. A pitch out, but Hayes stays at first base. Counts 2-0 to Rosen. 1 out, runner on first. Cleveland up 6-1 here in the top of the 8th here in game 3. 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. 2-1. Now, getting back to Indiana Jones, I thought the 4th and 5th movies, they were panned, but I thought they were good movies. I enjoyed them. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss.
2 balls.
Count goes to 2-2. Yeah, Eric Stoltz, in fact, they had like 4 to 6 weeks of shooting, I think, and they had to redo all of it. Here's the 2-2. Out to left field, and that drops for a base hit. Jacques Jones runs it down, and Hayes ends up at third base.
The left fielder, Grady Sizemore.
So Rosen gets a base hit, and now Cleveland has runners at first and third. Grady Sizemore comes up with 1 out. The left fielder. I think Crystal Skull was the least of the 5, but I still enjoyed it. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. No balls and a strike. 1 out. Cleveland might be able to score another run here. 0-1 pitch to Sizemore. And, Gaetti plucks it out of the air. Route number 2.
Now batting.
Sizemore lines out to third. 2 down for Cleveland. And now Nap LaJoy will come up. I finally got that name right. The second baseman. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1.
0-1's the count.
Yeah, I've heard that story before. I think Michael J. Fox did an outstanding job. Here's the 0-1 pitch.
Ball.
Count goes to 1-1 to LaJoy. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and third. Big swing and a miss.
1 ball.
Count goes to 1-2. 1-2 pitch. Right up the middle, a base hit. That's going to score a run, as Hayes will score from third. And Cleveland takes a 7-1 lead here in the top of the 8th.
Now batting. Number 22.
As we watch the replay, right up the middle by LaJoy, a base hit and an RBI.
Complete.
And now
For the Twins.
Giovanni Moran will come on.
Number 71. Giovanni Moran.
In relief for the Twins here in the top of the 8th. And now Cleveland leads it 7-1 with 2 outs, runners at first and second. Tris Speaker comes up. He's the DH today. Here's the pitch.
Ball inside.
Inside, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, runners at first and second. The 1-0 pitch.
Ball 2.
Ball 2, outside. The count's at 2-0. 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0. A walk below the bases with Ramirez on deck. And we know Ramirez can hit them out of here. So Moran with a 3-0 pitch. Oh yeah, I liked him on Family Ties. He was great. Fouled it off. Count goes to 3-1. Good crowd here on this Sunday. I appreciate it. Here on this Father's Day. We're in Game 3 of the American League Division Series. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. And Speaker fouls that one off. Evil Dead and I are talking about the movies during the game. That's all right. 3-2 pitch. And that's a base hit. That'll score another run. That may score 2 runs. That's going to go all the way to the wall. And Moran's going to end up with a double and a 2 RBI double.
Up next for Cleveland, the right fielder.
And Cleveland goes up 9-1 here in the top of the 8th inning. Well, game 1 was a blowout. Game 2 was close when the Twins won. And this game is a blowout. But if you look at Cleveland's lineup, I mean, it's loaded. I mean, everything is good. 2 outs, runner on second base. Ramirez comes up, the right fielder. And it's a strike. Got a nice picture of somebody's hat. There we go. Nice camera work, guys. Yeah, it's stacked lineup. I can see why they won 109 games. Here's the 0-1. And that's ripped right to Carew at second for the out. But Cleveland, they score 3, and they take a 9-1 lead to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Game 3 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Jacques Jones, the left fielder, will lead things off for Minnesota. Cleveland up by 8. Yeah, I know. It's amazing some of the talent they had over the years. Counts 0-1. That's in there for a strike. Sandlin and Henches warming up in the bullpen. And now the 0-1 pitch.
Nope.
Up high, 1-1. One pitch. Inside, 2-1. That World Series the Indians had against the Cubs a few years back, that was a great series. Yeah, I am too. In there for a strike, 2-2. And if you ask most Native Americans, they didn't want the change. Them and the Redskins either.
I got 3-2.
Outside, 3-2 to Jacques Jones. 3-2 pitch.
3.
Struck him out looking for out number 1. One down for Minnesota here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
By red.
We've covered that topic ad nauseum already, Evil Dead. I mean, I think it's clear. People know where we stand on that. The woke agenda destroys everything. Brian Buxton, the center fielder, in there for a strike, 0-1. Somebody put it to me this way the other day: a bunch of white ladies being offended for somebody else. Here's the 0-1 pitch, up high, 1-1. They attributed it to the squeaky wheel syndrome. You make enough noise. Here's the 1-1. Instead of, as a society, we have to stand up to knuckleheads like that. The 1-2 pitch to Buxton. High in the air. Out to left field. Sizemore will make the catch for out number 2.
Now back
2 down for the
right
Twins.
fielder.
Here at the bottom of the 8th.
Oliva.
Tony Oliva up next. The right fielder. 2 outs, bases empty. And here's the pitch.
Ball.
Outside, ball 1. Count goes to
1-0.
1-0. When somebody comes up to me and wants to play the pronoun game, I tell them immediately I don't play that. And I don't have to. Counts up 1-1. And here's the 1-1 pitch.
That's ball
Inside, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs, bases empty. Oliva at the plate with a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. Fouled it off. And the count evens up at 2-2. We'll have game 4 of this series tomorrow night after football. We'll have the football game at 8 o'clock Eastern. And that's fouled into the seats down the third base line. Count remains at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Up high, full count. You know what? Facts don't care about your feelings. And facts mean a lot more than feelings. Here's the 3-2.
Ball 4, take the base.
And it's inside. It'll be a walk. Tony Oliva, a 2-out walk.
The batter,
He
number
gets
4.
aboard. And that'll keep the inning alive. Carlos, oh boy. Not Korea, but Carrera. Oh gosh, help me with that. I have a hard night with this name. I don't know why. Here's the pitch.
Ball.
Up high, 1-0. Correa. There you go, I got it. I finally figured it out. Correa. Thank you, Evil Dead. Counts 1-0. 2 outs, runner on first. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. Nice seeing the old Metrodome again. Here's the 1-1. And that's going to be a base hit. That'll keep the inning alive. Ramirez will throw it in. And now the Twins, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, have runners at first and second.
First baseman, number 33.
As Correa gets on base. And now we have a new pitcher. It'll be Sam Henches. Still waiting for Wild Thing to make an appearance. Yeah, the big hefty bag in right field. So Sam Henches will come in. There's the other historic stadiums I'd like to show to incorporate. For some reason, I don't know why they don't include Ebbets Field with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Hit out to left field and tracking it down to Sizemore. And that'll finally end the inning. The Twins threaten but don't score. Cleveland leads at 9-1. We go to the 9th here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 9th. First baseman Jim Tomei will start things off. Cleveland up by 8, looking for some insurance runs. There's 3 stadiums I'd really like to see the show bring in. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. Ebbets Field. I want to see that one. I want to see the Astrodome. And I want to see the Kingdome. And for good measure, as that one's hit out to Jones and left. Oh no, it's in foul territory. He can't get to it. Strike 2. I also like to see Tiger Stadium with Detroit. I like to see that one. Here's the 0-2. Fouls that one off. I wish they'd put those in the game. But I'm really surprised that Ebbets Field is not in there. And hasn't been. Here's the 0-2.
That's a ball.
Down low, 1-2 to Tomei. They have a lot of the old Brooklyn Dodger players, but no Ebbets Field.
That's ball 4.
Inside 2-2. Yeah, they added old Comiskey with 23 here. But that's the only one they voted added recently. Up high, 3-2. Full count to Tomei. And now the 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. Old Comiskey looks pretty good too on the show. 3-2 pitch. High in the air, out to center field. Buxton goes back on the warning track and makes the play right before the hefty bag. One down.
Number 15.
I just want to know why Ebbets Field isn't in there. It's the only one of those classic stadiums that's not. Sandy Alomar, the catcher, comes up. First pitch is swung at, strike 1. One down for Cleveland here in the top of the 9th. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off again. Quickly 0-2. One out, bases empty. Here's the 0-2 pitch by Moran. A ground ball. Shortstop picks it up. Throws to first. Correa not in time.
The center fielder, Larry.
As Alomar beats out the throw. And is safe at first base with an infield single. Nice play by Correa. Now Larry Doby will come up. the center fielder. One out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch.
Ball.
Up high, 1-1.
1-1.
And if you want to add some more stadiums, like the old Candlestick Park, that'd be a good one that the Giants used to play in. Here's the 1-1.
Nope.
Up high, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. One out, runner on first. And now the 2-1 pitch. Right up the middle, and Correa. Oh, nice backhanded flip to the second baseman, Carew, covering the bag. That was pretty. Watch this. This is why the show is such a great game. Two down. In there for a strike. Willie Mays Hayes, the shortstop. Counts 0-1. 2 outs, runner on first. Cleveland up 9-1 here on the top of the ninth. Here's the pitch. And that's ripped into center field. That'll be a base hit. Are they going to send him home or leave him at third base? They leave him at third.
Now batting, the third baseman, Al Rosen.
Tell you what, Willie Mays Hayes has had a great night so far. Al Rosen will come up. 2 outs, runners at first and third. Rosen, the third baseman. And it blowout just got better there, Evil Dead, as Rosen hits a 3-run shot out over the left field fence. Right as Evil says, it's an old-fashioned blowout. It's now 12-1 in favor of Cleveland. A 3-run shot by Al Rosen. Perfect timing there, Evil Dead. Let's watch this one again. Yep, 47-56. He was one of the best players at that position in Major League history.
Your attention, please.
Johan Duran will come on.
Number 59, Johan.
And they pronounce it Johan. I was hearing the public address announcer in my headphone. Still 2 outs, now base is empty. The left fielder, Grady Sizemore, comes up.
That's outside.
Ball 1, count goes to 1-0. Now, he didn't play all that long, but he made an impact. 12-1. Blowout City here in the top of the ninth.
Yep, that ball went out.
Outside, 2-0. We still have the Twins bottom of the ninth coming up, but it looks like Cleveland is going to go up 2-1. It's Johan. The PA announcer said Johan. That's all right. I'll go with Evil Dead. He knows better. Johan Duran on the mound. Here's the pitch.
Yeah.
In there for a strike, 2-1. Here in Tennessee, we don't get funny names like that. It's me, noob. It's a strike. Count goes to 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Did it go around? No. Full count, 3-2 to Sizemore. Three-two pitch. Rung him up. And that'll end the inning. However, Al Rosen, a 3-run shot, gives Cleveland a 12-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the ninth here in Game 3 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports.
Leading off for the Twins,
All right,
the catcher,
we go to the bottom of the ninth, and Cleveland has their work cut out for them. They need 11 to extend the game, 12 to win it. Joe Mauer, the catcher, will lead things off. Cleveland 3 outs away from a 2-1 lead in the series. Popped up. Going back. Sizemore, that one's out of here. A solo shot by Joe Mauer. And it's now 12-2 in favor of Cleveland. Reminds me of that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, there's one bite there for Minnesota. The only problem is they need 10 more bites. Yeah, Twins coming back. I smell extra innings here. Look at the crowd. Even the crowd is thinned out. I didn't notice that until now. It's a 10-run lead, and the crowd is thinned out. Rod Carew comes up next, the second baseman. And he rips it foul. A lot of people trying to get home early. Counts 0-1 to Carew. Oregon player trying to get the players going.
Off the plate, ball 1.
Counts 1-1 as the pitch is inside to Carew. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, bases empty. 12-2 Cleveland. Here's the pitch. And that's going to drop for a base hit. It bounced in front of Sizemore. And Carew is safe at first. Still nobody out. That'd be something if the Twins came back. And now Kirby Puckett. The DH will come up next. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. Hinch is having a hard time. Here's the pitch. And Puckett down the line, but that's hooking foul. Yeah. The hair doesn't flow correctly. She's right, though. Yeah. Can't argue with her on that. Here's the 0-1 pitch by Puckett. Fouls it off, 0-2. It's hard to get the hair right with video games. And now the 0-2 pitch.
Ball 1.
Inside, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Because when just by the sheer size of a strand of hair, 1-2 pitch. Out to Sizemore in left, and he makes the play for out number 1. That'd be so hard to render.
Number 38.
A strand of hair. Well, there's a close-up of somebody's beard. Gary Gaetti comes up, the third baseman. 1 out, runner on first. Rod Carew at first base. Cleveland 2 outs away from a 2-1 lead in the series. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-0.
Ball 1, no strikes.
Yep, the Metrodome is cleared out a lot. A 1-0 pitch to Gaetti.
Ball 2.
Low and inside, 2-0. This will be our last game for tonight. We have things we need to do. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern with football. Oh, yeah, Minneapolis, great market. Absolutely. 2-0 pitch.
That's ball 3.
Inside, 3-0. We'll have Green Bay and Detroit football tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern, followed by Game 4 of this series. Here at Jammin' Sports, I'm going to enjoy the rest of Father's Day off. Going to watch a movie with the family. 3-0 pitch. In their first strike, count goes to 3-1. Oh, yeah. 3-1 pitch. Hit high in the air. Ramirez in left field makes the play for out number 2. And now the Twins down to their final out.
Left fielder, Joe.
They keep getting close-ups of that guy's face. Jacques Jones, the left fielder, comes up.
Nope.
And it's ball 1 to Jacques Jones. Inside, 1-0. That's all you play? Your team is ridiculous? I'm sure it is. Here's the 1-0. Ripped. Ramirez won't get that one. It's off the wall. Carew will come around. He's going to third. They're going to send him home. Not in time. A 2-out double for Jock Jones with an RBI, and it makes it 12-3 as he hits Carew home off the wall in right field. It's now 12-3. The Twins need 9 more. Byron Buxton, the center fielder, up next, is in there for a strike, 0-1. Wow. That's ridiculous. Counts 0-1. Twins are still down to the last out here in Game 3. Here's the pitch. High in the air, down the line, foul. And the count is quickly 0-2. As the Twins are down to the last strike. You too, Evil Dead. We'll see you back here again at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. 5 o'clock Pacific. Here's the pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Outside. Count goes to 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out. Your final score, Cleveland 12, Minnesota 3. And the Cleveland Indians take a 2-1 lead in the series. Winning pitcher, C.C. Sabathia. The losing pitcher, Mudcant Grant. Cleveland leads the series 2-1 with Game 4 tomorrow night. Learn more about the show by going online to theshow.com. Once again, your final score, Cleveland 12, Minnesota 3. Game 4 tomorrow night. We'll be back at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow with NFL action, the Packers and the Lions, followed by Game 4. Have a good rest of the night. Happy Father's Day, everybody, and good night.